Good time zone. It's me, DjDoubleT, here and existing with some more Dreambound, a game that I was playing for a bit, but then took a pause because some other visual novels took precedence. But I'm supposed to do some other things today, but I felt like instead, well, let's play this instead. So without further ado, let's go dive in. What's our last save? Oh, it's been like a few months since we last played this. Alright, I guess we'll just dive in. One stroke, then another, then a flurry of them. His eyes followed the place he'd just been, yet also hadn't. Where a familiar face had existed, even if only for a moment. The ache in Noah's heart didn't subside even as his mind was occupied with his painting. When Noah had finally finished, the sun had already begun to peek over the horizon, like a gentle but sad smile. Not that he could tell, locked away in this cave he called his home. Noah set the paintbrush down and stared at his creation. He could almost feel the wind blowing, his hair all over his face, the clouds beneath his feet. Both real sensations he'd felt in a world he believed unreal. A world he still believed unreal, yet the words of a certain man named Crow still weighed heavily on his mind. Shaking his head, he stood from his place in front of his easel and walked into his kitchen. His steps into the darkened kitchen were slow and drawn out. Noah's mind felt hazy, slightly dizzy from the lack of sleep. The room was still exactly the same as he had left it. He didn't have anyone to clean up after him anymore. None of that. No cleaning. None of it. And in a way, he'd come to like the cluttered mess. It felt like a reflection of himself. Listen. I know this might be paint, but gosh, this is so dirty. I could not live that way. With a drawn-out sigh, he wandered toward the fridge, hand extended. He paused. Stuck to the front was a sticky note. "I've paid your bills, Kane." A heavy feeling weighed down Noah's chest. After all this time, Kane was still here for him, even when he asked him not to be. With any thought of eating gone, Noah dug back through his unemptied trash can for his phone. As expected, Kane had called, as well as left a few messages. But what was less expected was a text from an unknown number. He clicked into it. "Can we talk?" Noah stared at the number. "Mr. Floyd?" Wait, Mr. Floyd? But no, the number was completely different. Was definitely different than the one he texted earlier. There was only one logical explanation. Asher. Everyone wants to talk these days, huh? "Good morning, class." Noah sat at his desk, his eyes lazily on his new teacher. It had barely been a few days, but he'd already found himself comfortable enough in the class. His fingers tapped against the worn wooden desk. Sure, he was getting used to it, but that doesn't mean he was pleased. At least I could still see August at lunch. "I have some exciting news. We have a new student moving into the class." Again? Correction. 2 students. New students? 2 of them? That's crazy. Noah paused as he sat 2 shadows behind the door, waiting to come in. "Come in, you two." As the class was visibly deflated, Noah nearly sprung out of his chair. 2 people, one with brown hair, another one with blonde, walked airily into the room. "We won't bother with an introduction because you all probably know each other anyway. Kane and August are joining us from class 2-3. Make sure to give them a warm welcome." Noah blinked. Once, then again, then a few more times for good measure. So he walked into the classroom and took the spare desks. August on his left and Kane right behind him. August with that same smile. The same smile that reminded Noah of sunrise. He waved discreetly to him. "Now, with that out of the way, let's get right into modern world history." Miss Rose, dressed impeccably, turned her head back and lifted the whiteboard marker up, ready for the lesson to begin. With her back turned, Noah scribbled down a message on a ripped-out corner of his workbook that read, "I can't believe you managed this. Smiley." He paused for a moment before adding in one of August's signature smiley faces with a nose. As inconspicuous as possible, Noah balled up the piece of scrap paper and tossed it towards August's desk, where it landed without a sound. August laid the note down on his desk carefully, straightening out the wrinkles. The corner of his mouth turned upwards as he read the message. Quickly, August opened up his pencil case and dug around inside a little before pulling out a pen and writing something on the other side of the paper. Noah, suddenly feeling shy, and traced the shallow scratches on the surface of his desk with his fingertips. That was until a little ball of paper landed on his desk in return. Noah smiled at the neat writing, every letter perfectly placed and undeserving of such a scrappy bit of paper. Whoops, I meant to read that. Kane organizes something something. Noah picked up his pencil again, quickly writing a reply under August. By the way, your handwriting is really... Noah thought on the word cute, neat, sweet, and pretty, he decided on. His own handwriting was plain and simple, neat but with no frills. By comparison, August seemed bright and cheery. Noah balled up the scrap of paper once again, ready to toss it back to August, when Miss Rose turned around. "Something to share with the class, Noah." Although her words were serious, Noah could feel a faint twinkle in her eye, as if she understood that Noah was pleased to be back with his friends. No, Miss Rose." With a face, Noah shoved the note back into his pocket, all the while burying his face back in his textbook. Miss Rose, unfazed, carried on with the class until the bell rang for lunch. Most of Noah's new classmates quickly shuffled out of the classroom, whether in a rush to get something from the cafeteria or a rush to get away from their schoolwork. August stretched out his shoulders and neck with a drawn-out sigh before Noah had a chance to move. Kane had already approached his desk with an award-winning grin. "How in the hell did you make this happen?" "Hey, not bad, hey? Go on, praise me some more." "Don't push it, but seriously, how?" "Oh, it was no big deal." I kind of forgot what their voices have sounded like, but it's been so long, so we'll see. "Really, if this isn't a big deal to you, I would love to see what it is." "What is?" August sidled up to stand beside Kane, two of them laughing at their joke. Noah couldn't help but notice that the two seemed closer than before. "My mom organized it. I don't ask her for much, so she was happy to oblige, I guess. In the end, I think a complaint was lodged against Mr. Floyd. The principal let the two of us move to this class since our parents insisted." Noah kicked at the wooden floor, his foot gliding across the polished boards. "He deserved it anyway. They should hurry up and fire him already." "Look, are you gonna tell us what happened?" Noah winced. What can you say? He, pretended to be my friend, but then told my parents everything. I said I trusted him. Just what could you have told them that would cause this kind of reaction? I'm not ready to tell anyone yet. Alright, fine. But I'm always here to talk, okay? Noah waved his hand dismissively. Yeah. Me too. You know, I'm always happy to listen. At some point, both August and Kane had pulled over the chairs and sat down. Thanks, August, really. With a sigh, Kane dug around in his backpack looking for something, before presenting two almost matching lunchboxes. He slid one over the table to Noah, who looked at it in surprise over his flattened sandwich. What's this about? I was just doing some cooking and thought you could use a pick-me-up. Kane's famous cooking? Kane blushed a little, but was obviously enjoying the praise. It's nothing exciting. Don't get your hopes up. Noah's stomach rumbled as he opened up the lunchbox and peered at the contents. The smell filled the room, making everyone's mouths water. It smells amazing. You know, Kane. You know, Kane wants to be a chef when he's older. Come on, I'm not good enough to be a chef. Oh, shut up. You know you are. By the looks of it, I'd say you definitely are. I mean, if it tastes as good as it smells. I'll make 3 next time then. Why wait? You can try some of mine. Really? Of course. With a second thought, Noah raised the fork up towards August, instantly recognized his mistake. What am I doing? But before he could move his hand, August took a bite. I used that fork first. It's almost a... stop thinking, Noah. Stop thinking. Delicious. You really are amazing, Kane. I want to try some too. You have your own lunchbox. I'm not sharing. Then I'll just bring 1 lunchbox next time. Oh wait, does this mean the sleepover is off the table? Looks like it. Since my parents told me I'm not allowed to hang around August anymore. The room went silent. Kane and August's eyes looked in on Noah's face as the realization hit about what he just said. Shit. Why me in particular? I didn't mean to. It doesn't matter anyway. I'm gonna hang out with you if I want to. Both of them still stared at him, unwavering. My parents don't really like you. But I've never even met them. They met your dad. But why don't they like me? I guess they said something like you were too girly or something. I don't know. I don't care what they say. Oh. But I mean, they don't even know you, and even if you were... No one said shut up. One smile he had come to know so well had fallen off of August's face. Well, we can always have a sleepover another time. Kane laughed, but anyone could tell it was forced. The 3 sat in silence, finishing their lunches before the bells rang. August and Kane went back to their desk, leaving Noah alone with his thoughts. Fuck. I wish I didn't say anything. The rest of class passed by in a slow, drawn-out blur. Noah's workbook was empty apart from messy doodles along the edge of his page. By the time he looked up from packing his bag, August was long gone. It was the first time he'd left without them. Noah swallowed, feeling a lump in his throat that he couldn't shake off. Should we go? I guess so. Don't take it too personally. It's not your fault. It is. I should have kept my mouth shut. Why would your parents say that anyway? I don't know. Look, let's go home. I have an idea, okay? You can leave it to me. Gentle sunlight fell through the canopy and onto the rocky mountain path, warming the 2 boys' faces as they walked silently. Noah stood slightly behind Kane, his eyes stuck to the ground. He couldn't think of anything to say, and by the looks of it, neither could Kane. His legs felt heavy, as if they were filled with lead, and his heart ached. Thanks, Kane. Noah reached out and took hold of Kane's sleeve, pulling the other boy to a stop. He halted abruptly. It's no problem. Anyway, I haven't done anything yet. No, thank you for always, being there. Where else would I be? Noah's eyes finally left the ground. On Kane's face was his classic charismatic grin, but his eyes were warm and kind. You're my best friend. You better not ever forget that. You wouldn't let me forget that even if I wanted to. I guess you're stuck with me. Guess so. Feeling a little brighter, the 2 continued their trek. Quietly, Kane's fingers traveled down to where Noah had held on just a moment before. Noah! Before his mother could get a word in edgewise, Noah retreated to his room and slammed the door hard. His only wish was that he could lock it from the inside. Pointless act in itself, seeing as the door could be unlocked easily from the outside. Noah waited a moment with his ear to his door, waiting for the stomping of his mother, coming to berate him for being so rude, but they never came. With a sigh, he sunk down to the ground, resting his back against the door. I'm an idiot. Maybe I could make it up to him somehow. I could. I could draw a picture of him. He does have that photo of me. Maybe it's too lame. With his mind still undecided, Noah stood from his wooden floor and made his way to his desk, carefully stepping over the cushions that sat on the ground. Collapsing on his chair with a spin, he stared at his room. Furniture his parents chose are in the walls that they'd placed there. A picture-perfect showroom. But it never felt like his. It never felt like him. The only place that felt like home was here, at his desk, where his art books were. Kept. Panic set in. Noah opened his drawers before jumping up to search through his backpack. There was no use. He knew they weren't there. Where are they? A knock finally sounded at his door. Noah, your brother's home! His panic became a dread that settled in the bottom of his stomach, eating away at him. Their relationship had always been rocky at best. It was almost as if he was a walking target to his brother, an overachiever in almost every field. Come out and greet him! But Noah made no move to open the door. Mother did it for him. Her arms were crossed over her chest, crinkling the dark silk. Where did my art books go? Noah's words were blunt and accusatory, but his mother just shook her head. Wherever you left them, Noah. Honestly, you should spend less time doodling and more studying. I study plenty. Someone's moved my books. No one's moved them. Someone has. Don't you raise your voice at me. I said no one's touched your books. Well, who would? You're the only one that cares about them. What's all this yelling about? A voice like the silk the mother's shirt, smooth and slippery, came from the door from down the hallway. Oh, Noah, happy to see me. Noah withdrew his eyes, wanting to settle on anything but his brother. But eventually he had no choice. With an emotionless voice, he answered, Welcome home. His voice held a kind of charisma that many people had fallen for, despite the iciness that hid behind it. Have you seen my sketchbooks? Sketchbooks? You're still wasting time with that stuff? Let me think. Asher paced back and forth in mock thought. Oh, were those the books on your desk? Yes. Did you see them? Oh, that's too bad. Dad told me to take it out the trash, so I thought you wouldn't want them. What? There might be time to get them back, I guess. You. Noah, it was an honest mistake. You need to forgive your brother. It was no mistake. I did it on purpose. Noah, apologize. Fuck this. Her hand went to her mouth in shock. Where are they? In the bed outside? Oh, no. Let me show you. Don't worry, Mom. I'll help him get him back. You're a good boy. Asher, a better son to me than some. Whatever. The farther his brother led them from their shared home, the more anxious Noah began to feel. Alright, this will do. All the charm had dropped out of his voice, replaced by a teasing sneer. He pointed further down the mountain. Down there, if you look real close, what can you see? The river? Bingo. Enjoy getting those back, loser. One moment he was there, the next he was gone. His hand that had balled into fists at his side tightened before he punched a tree hard. A line of blood dripped down in his hand and onto the bark. Fuck. Fucking asshole. With no time left to waste, Noah sprang into a run, racing towards the river. If his heart hadn't already been broken by the day's events, now it truly had. Stuck on the rocks and weeds of the river were his sketchbooks. Stray pages drifted around, obviously ripped out by someone. Noah swallowed hard, not sure whether to shout or cry, or he kicked off his shoes and jumped the mostly calm river to retrieve what he could. The water was cold, made even more so by the quickly setting sun. It easily came up to his thigh, ruining his once perfect uniform. He reached out desperate to save anything salvageable, but already many of the stray pages dissolved in his hands into mush. Just when he felt like the tears would start, Noah heard a sound from behind him, the gentle splashes of someone joining him. August? What are you doing? I'm helping you get your books back. There's no point. They're just stupid drawings. August shook his head. They're not stupid. August slowly waded it through the water until he stood across from Noah. You're going to get all wet. A little water never hurt anyone. Something something, dripping with good looks. That's what someone said in a book I read once anyway. Silence stretched out between them as they collected the soggy art books, but instead of keeping his mind focused on the task, Noah couldn't help but stare at August, desperate for the words to fix everything. But there were no miracle words that could fix everything. They didn't exist. And so, Noah defaulted to the only thing he could think to say. I'm sorry. It's fine. It's just water. No, I'm sorry about earlier. It's okay. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter? It matters a lot to me. Noah stumbled over a sudden outburst, but wasn't ready to stop yet. What they think is stupid. I don't care what they say about me, but I don't want them to say anything bad about you. I want to spend time with you. I want to hang out at school, and outside of it too. So I will. If you want, that is. I don't want to cause a problem between you and your parents. It's okay if you don't want to hang out with me anymore. No matter what, I want to see you. August suddenly let out the breath he was holding. A smile came back to his face. Yeah, good, because I really wanted to stay friends. At some point, Noah's heart had begun to beat hard and fast. He bit his lip. I should tell him. I like you. Did your brother do this? How did you know? I saw you two arguing. Yeah. He hates me, so he ruined one of the only things I love. What an asshole. I know it doesn't make it better, but let's replace all of this together. I'm not really good at drawing, though. Yeah. Noah, where are you? Noah and August, with their arms filled with water-soaked books, quickly left the river. I should go. I don't want you to get in more trouble. But I'll see you at school tomorrow, okay? Yeah, see you tomorrow. Just as August disappeared one way, the mother appeared from another. What are you? Noah, you're soaked. I wonder who we can blame for that. You can't shift the blame for everything that happens in life, Noah. He did it. He threw all of my art books in the river. Into the river, and now they're all ruined. I'm sure it was an accident. How? How could anyone accidentally do that? I'm not here to argue with you. You have a guest at home. Hey, look at you. Your cheeks are all red. Probably getting sick already. Noah frowned. The image of August beside him still was stuck in his mind. Fine. I'm going home. All packed and ready to... Whoa! What happened to your clothes? Long story. What are you talking about, though? Don't you remember? You're staying at my house. Study for the test tomorrow. Test? Do we have a test? Right. The test. Let me go change and get my stuff. Only studying, yes? Yeah. Lovely. I'm so happy that someone like you would be friends with someone like my son. He can really depend on you. You flatter me, man. Really, it's the other way around. What a good kid you are. Rolling his eyes, Noah quickly retrieved his things from his bedroom, packing his spare uniform and some PJs. When he reappeared, Kane and his mother were still conversing, kindly, from the sound of it. It mostly consisted of praise. I'm ready. Good. Well, it was nice talking to you, man. We'll study extra hard tonight. Noah, make sure not to slow down, dear Kane, alright? Right, because I'm obviously an idiot. I won't. Kane went on ahead, holding open the door for Noah before letting it fall shut behind them. Thanks, Kane. What exactly happened in the hour since I last saw you? It's a long story. Well, I have time to listen. Asher threw all my art into the river. Hey, what? Why? Great question. I guess he just hates me. How would I know? Sorry I took so long then. I should have been there to help. Noah shook his head. You got me out of there. You're already the best friend I could have. Come on. I don't think they're looking out the window at us anymore. Kane took hold of Noah's wrist, leading him away from his parents' prying eyes. When he thought they had gone far enough, Kane circled back before coming to a stop somewhere Noah hadn't expected. His next-door neighbor's house. What's going on? We're having that sleepover at August's house. What? Does August know about this? He's about to. We can't just barge. Kane quickly pressed the doorbell. From further inside, a breezy tune carried through the house, followed by footsteps. Hello? Wait, is that August's dad? You know, I was expecting like an old man, not like some Gucci Dior Prada guy. That is wild. Alright. The door swung open, and sitting in its place was a tall man with messy blonde hair and light blue eyes. Instantly, Noah recognized this man despite never having met. His eyes held a deep kindness, and a smile played upon his lips. This could only be August's father. Oh, Kane, how wonderful to see you again. Noah looked towards Kane, flustered and curious when he remembered that they'd probably met when they were moving classes. The kind-looking man's eyes traveled from Kane to Noah. Oh, I'm Noah. I live next door. Awkwardly, Noah pointed. Let me turn this down just a little bit. Towards the house, be careful to stay hidden from any peering eyes. Noah, I was wondering when we would finally meet. August talks about you all the time. He does? All lovely things, I assure you. You can call me Jasper, by the way. Anyway, what can I do for you two? We were wondering if we could see August. Of course you can. I'm sure he'll be thrilled to see his friends. August, you have guests. A moment later, a bespectacled face peered at them from behind his father. Noah? Kane? What are you two doing here? His face held genuine surprise, but he was obviously pleased with this development. Well, you see... We were wondering if we could sleep overnight. August's surprised face morphed into a wide, bright smile as he turned his eyes toward his dad. In return, his father chuckled and nodded. You two are practically a family already. You're welcome anytime. Come in, I'll show you my room. The moment the trio stepped into August's bedroom, Kane and Noah could instantly tell it belonged to him. Unlike Noah's bedroom, this room felt like August, despite his family being here for only a short amount of time. This is my bedroom. I'll go and get us some drinks. Feel free to make yourselves comfortable. Noah's eyes went from one thing to another. August's bed made perfectly, his pillow where his head rested every night. Next to his desk was a big green leafy plant that made the room feel even more cozy. Noah eyed it up thinking, I would have killed it already. It's the opposite of a green thumb. Lastly, his eyes fell to the blonde desk. Hanging on the wall above it was a small collection of Polaroids, some older than others. Is that you? He instantly looked away, his cheeks hot, hanging on August's wall. Proudly was the photo he'd taken of Noah from across their balconies. I didn't think he'd keep it. Shaking his head, Noah looked back at the other photos. Some were of August and his father, but one happened to stand out. It looked old and slightly faded, but well looked after. It showed a woman with kind green eyes smiling at whoever was taking the photograph. That's my mom. My dad says I look just like her. This is the only photo I've seen of her though, so I can't really tell. You do look like her. August set down 3 colas on his desk, admiring the photograph himself. Noah's voice dropped to a whisper. I didn't think you'd keep that. Oh, I didn't think you'd keep that. I didn't think you'd keep that. August looked back at Noah, out of the corner of his eyes. The moonlight shone in from the window, illuminating his face. I told you, I look at it whenever I'm feeling lonely. Oh. Dreams of a past long forgotten. Chapter 3. Dark Omen. The cement floor, forever stained by paint, was cool against Noah's palms. He knelt down to the ground, searching through boxes and shuffling around loose papers. Where is it? Where? Cardboard boxes were shoved out of the way. Cans of paint were tossed to the side. Maybe it's just because it's been so long. Maybe I've forgotten. Finally, his almost shaking fingers pulled out what he had been searching for. A large book with one smiling faces adorning the cover. Noah had long since scribbled out their expressions, their grins forever mocking him for what he could not have. What should have been the second last yearbook of his life had become his last. He never wanted it, never looked inside. He'd been too scared, but Kane gave it to him anyway. For some reason, the pages felt awfully heavy. Flick, flick, flick. His heart beat in sync to each page. Thump, thump, thump. The pages of the book sped up to the beat of his heart, until finally someone from a long time ago stared back at him. Someone he didn't recognize. He screwed up his eyes, peering in closer. He should be recognizable, but instead, it was like looking in a dirty, warped mirror. It's me. Beside him, Kane stood with his signature wide, charismatic smile. In truth, he hadn't changed too much from back in those days. Shaking his head, he ripped his eyes away from the broken image of himself and scanned the rest of the photos. People he hadn't seen or thought about in years graced the page, for better or for worse. But the person he was searching for wasn't there, no matter how hard he searched. Must have been before he moved into the class. I forgot. With a sigh that carried with it the heaviness of lead, he flicked absentmindedly through the rest of the pages before he flinched. A boy with a kind smile and warm eyes smiled back at him. His orange hair was ruffled and messy, as it always was, in a way that made you instantly want to trust him. His eyebrow twitched. Letters below seemed to be etched in blood one moment, and the next it was ink, perfectly normal. Luca. shut the book with a thud and tossed it to the side. What are you doing, by the way? So you're alive after all. Ivan, who had at some point made himself comfortable on the old couch that was stuffed into the corner of the room, shrugged. I usually am, for now anyway. I was looking for a photo of someone. We never did take that photo together, did we? I tried to draw you. I tried to paint a picture of you, but none of them are you. None of them could ever be you. Could ever capture you. I think back, my memories are too fuzzy to remember your face properly. Isn't that sad? What will be left to remember of you, if not me? Am I not just like everyone else, forgetting you the moment you leave my sight? Ivan's voice interrupted Noah's thoughts. Couldn't find anyone. I never took a one in the first place, as it turns out. Hey, did you see a guy with blonde hair yesterday in that dream? Ivan shrugged. I don't know. I wasn't exactly keeping an eye out. A lot of blonde guys in the world. Hope he's okay. Noah wandered back towards the painting he finished last night. Once again, his fingers ran across the bumpy surface. Absentmindedly, his fingers found the place he'd sat side by side with the man, who looked exactly like the August from his memories. He felt the sweeping wind, the soft cloud beneath him. He felt those green eyes on him ever smiling. I thought you couldn't paint. I can't. Or, I couldn't. Huh, guess you should be spending more time in dreams after all. Looks like they solved your little issue. Ivan picked up the remote and turned on the TV. A news reporter's solemn voice carried into the room. At approximately 5:45 this morning, another body was found in West Park. Police have sectioned off the area. Noah froze. West Park, not far from home. From back home. Wait, not far from back home. Tentatively, he dropped down to sit beside Ivan, his eyes glued to the screen. Not sure? For a reason he could not explain, a deep feeling of dread had settled into the pit of his stomach. What about that charm? Right, he never took it, did he? The deceased has been identified by his family as Sebastian Carter, age 23. Sebastian was last seen just yesterday evening. Police have released a statement saying that markings matching previously discovered bodies were present. Someone you knew? You know? He went to my high school. I kind of knew this girl he had a thing for. You stole his girlfriend. I didn't think you had that in you. No, God no. She was absolutely not my type. I mean, I liked her, but not like that. She and him weren't really dating, he was just obsessed with her or something. I don't want to think about it. The image on the TV changed to an artistic replication of the mysterious markings. Noah glanced sideways at Ivan. Ask him about the markings, don't ask him. No, let's just ask him, I don't care. What do their markings mean? Why are you asking me? Don't play stupid. What am I not playing? Do you have to answer every one of my questions with another question? Touché? Or should I say touche? Well, whatever. It's not like it's a secret. It just means they were killed in their dreams. And how do you know that? I just know. Isn't it common knowledge? I thought it was. No, it's not. Why? Why would that make markings appear, though? Great question. And the answer is... no clue. I'm not the bearer of all knowledge. Yeah, I realized that a long time ago. Grove said it was a side effect of dreams on the human body, so I guess that confirms what Ivan's saying at least. Someone is killing people in their dreams. Reaper. Noah eyed Ivan carefully. If killing people in dreams give them their markings, does it also give them to the murderer? So you knew about people were getting murdered? I guess so. Ivan nodded, sipping at a juice box. he pulled from some dark corner. Why haven't you done anything about it? What exactly do you want me to do? People die every day. It's not really my problem. Not really my problem. Is it my problem? My mother, my father, Sebastian, Mr. Floyd was terrified. Asher could have died the same way. They're all related to me. Noah covered his mouth with his hand, halfway between shock and disgust. So, are you going to do something about it, then? You don't seem like the hero type. I've been able to paint ever since this started. Ivan flashed a rare smile. You're a really selfish bastard. I respect that. Hey. I'm not judging you. Actually, I'm suddenly finding you a lot more interesting. Now, will I look into this? Will I see you again, Crow? Maybe I have no choice but to look into this properly. Only to see him. Crow. Who? The blonde guy I mentioned to you. Met him last night. Said his name was Crow. He looks like someone I knew a long time ago. Another person like us. Boy, the bad mind off. Phenomenon's real, huh? I don't know. I don't know if he was a part of the dream or not. He seemed too real, but he died, so how would it be possible? Well, he's either real or he's not. There's no in between. Right. I just need to work out if he's real or not. If August could really be. A sudden shuffling sound broke Noah's line of thought, followed by the creak of his apartment door opening. A face filled with worry appeared out of the darkness. Expressions started to soften upon seeing Noah, but stared again when he saw Ivan. Kane. Did you get my messages? I've been worried sick about you. Oh. Noah fished out his phone and quickly turned it on. 7 missed calls and numerous more texts all from Kane. Sorry, I didn't mean to barge in. I just needed to respond. Dark bags rested underneath his eyes. A clear sign of how worried he had truly been. A small amount of guilt settled in Noah's stomach before he shook it off. Sorry, I've been a little busy. With? Kane's eyes went to Ivan, then to painting that still sat on the easel. The paint was long dry. With another long sigh, he placed his bag down on the ground and walked towards Noah. His bald fist relaxed enough to take hold of Noah's arm and gently pull him from the couch and into his kitchen. Noah, I don't know what exactly is going on, but I know it's way too dangerous for you to be involved with. Please, for my sake, don't do this. I realize. I know what I'm doing, okay? You don't need to worry about me. I do. And I will. I don't want to lose you too. There's no choice. Of course there is. You're making a choice right now. I guess I am. Doesn't feel too bad while I'm making a choice. You saw them, didn't you? My paintings there. They're beautiful. They really are. And I'm so happy you're painting properly again, but there has to be another answer. There's not. This is my answer. They're not as important as your life. Maybe not to you. What are you guys talking about? None of your business. We're trying to have a private conversation here. You seem to butt into things that have nothing to do with you quite a lot, huh? It's as much his business as it is yours. He rubbed at his temples, obviously frustrated. Why do you care so much? I don't know. What do you want me to say? My conscience has gotten the better of me? I don't have an answer. All I know is that people somehow related to me are dying, and looking into it is letting me paint again. That's all I need. Art is all I need. Related to you? Go check yourself, it's true. My mom, dad, Sebastian from school, Mr. Floyd was terrified, and I think Asher was targeted too. Fine, fine. I understand you want to be able to paint again, but I don't understand why you would care if they were dead or not. What? Did you want them dead after what they did to you? I don't know, maybe. I did a long time ago. Maybe I still do. Maybe I don't care either way. But... come on. You don't need to give it some deep meaning. You want to paint, investigating is helping you paint. Be yourself. No one asked you. I want to see August again. Noah, August is... Kane sighed loudly, tiptoeing around the words that nearly came out of his mouth. Whoever that was, it wasn't August. August isn't here anymore, you know that. Maybe he is. The world may never know. Well, the world will know. You saw him. You heard his voice. How could that not be him? I don't know. It could be like anybody else. Then help me find him. How am I meant to do that? Your work. Don't you have access to all kinds of records and databases? Isn't there something you could do if you checked around about him? Maybe he's not really... If I want to lose my job, Noah, you know I would do anything to help you. But this won't bring him back. This isn't safe. Please, just forget about all of this. I'll try to help you paint it again myself. We can fix this. No, if you won't help me, then I'll work it out myself. Come on. Let's go out and get some food and talk everything over. I don't want to. Why are you so against him going into dreams anyway? Noah said it wasn't safe. Even I can tell that much. And that's putting aside the fact that there could be a murderer skulking about in the shadows. I don't want to lose anyone else. Anyone else? Doesn't matter. Ah. So this crow guy you met in a dream looks like August, who is dead. And this is starting to get interesting. Interesting. Kane's voice was low and serious. This isn't something to joke about. Please, just leave. Noah. Now. Fine. If that's what you want, I'm only trying to help you though. Once again, I never asked for your help. Maybe you didn't. With those words, he let go of Noah's wrist and quickly retreated from the room, a pained expression glued to his face. A few moments later, both Noah and Ivan heard the front door lock with a click. So you want to know if this crow is your friend August? Noah nodded wordlessly. And August? Died 6 years ago? Uh-huh. Any way to confirm that? Did you see him? What? No, I didn't go into the hospital room. His dad told me. He has a grave back home, apparently. I wasn't there when. Ivan flashed one of his lopsided grins. Short of grave robbing, there's got to be some way to find out if he's really there or not. Kane works in security in the government, but he won't help. You heard him. I don't really want to get him fired, but... Why not break into his office then? What? Break into a government building? Are you serious? Why not? You can't be serious. I'm as serious as you are. So tell me, how much do you want to find out about Crow? It's not that I can search for someone named Crow. No, but you can look up August. See if he's really as gone as you think he is, or if there's anything else on him. Hidden governments do like to hide things. If anything happens, you can just hop into a dream. No one will be the wiser. I'm starting to think you might be a bad influence on me. I'm just starting. At some point, Ivan had pushed a pile of dirty clothes covered in paint to the side and sat up on the counter, finally meeting Noah eye to eye. He smirked before jumping down from the surface. Let's go then. Right now? Have you got anywhere else to be? Let me just go grab something. Once again, Noah dug through piles upon piles of books and painting supplies. in search of the item he needed. Just in case. Just in case I do see him again. Finally, he pulled it free, an old journal with a worn leather cover, inside an assortment of waterlogged sketches he'd done in high school. It was still only half filled, he hadn't touched in years. Couldn't. He shoved it into a small satchel along with a cheap mechanical pencil before fully putting it over his head to rest on his shoulder. What's that? Nothing important. Let's go already. Ivan didn't offer any other words. Instead, he walked through the piles of art supplies towards the front door. Noah froze. Out of the corner of his eyes, a small patch of green sat motionlessly, yet it seemed to be calling out to him. He turned around on his heels and opened up one of the spare water bottles Kane had left at one point or another and watered the plant. It almost seemed to perk up instantly with the action. Satisfied, Noah turned to follow Ivan, but not before his eyes trailed back over his latest paintings. The night was dark and cool. Noah drew in his light jacket closer to himself, but it offered him little in the way of warmth. When he eyed up Ivan, he felt all the more colder. His holographic jacket still hung loosely off of one shoulder, almost proudly displaying the markings on his arm. Noah tried to contain his curiosity, knowing full well the man wouldn't answer his questions about it. He already tried to ask about them, both subtly and not so subtly, but that was something Ivan wasn't willing to give up. Noah heaved a sigh. I'm an idiot following around the sky in the middle of the night. Jet black clouds passed overhead, dimming the already darkened streets. It was a sight Noah wasn't quite used to anymore. When he was younger, he would often go out alone at night and wander through the mountains around his home. At those times, the air around him seemed to stand still, as if it were waiting for something. The breeze that blew through the treetops seemed to be whispering secrets into his ears. And lastly, the sky above him seemed to hold infinity, vast, endless. When he was below that sky, alone and in the dead of night, he felt confident, quite content. Noah looked up towards the sky, a few stars, but nothing compared to what he used to see. I wonder when the last time I looked at the stars was. Seems the world kept spinning while I was gone. If you keep staring upwards, you'll trip over something. What do you care? I don't. It's just an observation. Whatever. Ivan walked slightly ahead of Noah, the metallic color of his outfit almost glowing under the dire streetlights. You know the way? I didn't even tell you where he works. It's the building on Ward Street. You're not gonna ask me how I know? No, I don't think I want to know. It wasn't exactly on the first floor. How exactly we're going to break into it? Ivan pulled his hand from his pocket and spun something around on his finger. A keychain on which held an ID card and a key. Noah peered in closer. How? He was stupid enough to leave his bag with me when he pulled you into the kitchen. So you just robbed him? Yeah. I guess it'll come in useful this time. Do you always do that? Mm-hmm. Right. Why are you helping me? Stay quiet. Why are you helping me? Anyway. Hey, I asked you a question. I know. I was just wondering if you were an idiot or something. What? I already told you. You piqued my interest, nothing else to it. You're going to break into a government building with me. There's something more than interest here. There has to be. That's not something a normal person just does. Ivan shrugged, rolling his eyes at the same time. What else is new? You're insane. Maybe. Who cares? Thanks. I wouldn't be able to do it alone. Ivan's rare smirk returned to his face. No shit. The further they walked, the higher the buildings became as they stepped into the business district. No one walked the streets save a stumbling drunk on the opposite side of the road. Noah grimaced and looked away. Best to ignore people like that. Let's draw their attention. And that's where you draw the line? You have some strange morals. You're one to talk, like you have any at all. You steal from anyone and everyone and don't give a shit about murder. Why use, the word is what? What use are morals anyway? I find they just get in the way of what needs to be done. Are you always so indifferent? I'm starting to worry that you're a serial killer yourself. Ivan shrugged again, further proving Noah's point. Maybe. Suddenly, Ivan stopped in his tracks and looked up. A tall building reached up into the sky, a metal stain on the heavens. It seemed as if it would rip the sky in two, but of course, it didn't. It just sat there ominous and foreboding, as if waiting for them in particular. Noah swallowed hard. And this is it. There's 3 cameras facing the entrance probably, another 2 in the lobby, 1 lift and all wireless. Ivan mumbled to himself, clearly thinking hard. Let's go. Wait, what about the cameras? Oh, follow me. Ivan's footsteps were unrushed, his actions calm and collected, just like his entire personality. He walked forward before reaching into his jacket and pulling out something the size of a phone. Except this obviously wasn't his phone. Instead, 4 antennas poked out from the top of the handheld device. Upon closer inspection, Noah thought it reminded him more of a handheld radio. What's that? Ivan, ignoring Noah's words, started turning a dial on the side of the device slowly and deliberately. Then stopped. He stared up at the surveillance cameras as if he could see inside of them. Supposedly satisfied, he stepped out of the shadows and up the stairs to the entrance, in full view of the cameras. A radio jammer? A radio jammer? I don't know why I said a radio jammer. Really, I've done this more than once. Nova sped up to walk side by side, and the white-haired man. When they reached the entrance, Ivan scanned Kane's keycard, which quietly beeped 3 times before the doors opened wide. Inside, the lobby was wide and dead silent. Their footsteps echoed through the empty space, Noah all the more aware of how loud they really were. Ahead were the lifts. With the jammer still in hand, they beelined towards them. Much lower. I know. Noah thought back to all the times Kane had stopped by, all the times he had sat beside him and talked despite Noah never responding. How much had he told Noah that he'd never heard? How long had he not been listening? And why was it the only now that he could finally hear again? 11th floor. I don't know what room though. We'll work it out when we get there. With a ding, the elevator door is open. Ivan and Noah stood to the sides, waiting to see if anyone was inside, but found it empty. With his heart almost in his mouth, Noah stepped inside and pressed the 11 button. Ivan stood beside him, his face still impartial. Slowly, the elevator lifted up. The only sound was the gentle whirring of the motors running, which seemed much louder than it actually was. When the doors opened again, they were faced with a darkened corridor. The stillness from the lobby and the elevator seemed to extend through to the rest of the building. Wordlessly, Ivan stepped out of the elevator first. He looked left and then right, before deciding instead to go straight ahead. One at a time, the 2 peered into darkened offices, looking for any sign of what could be Kane's room. Damn, didn't think they would that would take so long. Wanna go get a bite to eat? Hell yes I do. Man, you're much more fun than Kane, you know. He runs straight after work every single day, even if we did have deadlines. Probably has a girlfriend he's rushing off to see, asshole. 2 voices laughed loudly. Noah didn't even have the time to freeze out when Ivan grabbed him by the shirt and pulled him back into an open storeroom. Footsteps went by them, and the ding of the elevator doors opening resounded back into the storeroom. They waited for what felt like forever before Ivan stepped out. Let's try that room. Right towards the place the 2 men had come from. They seem to know your friend. He's not so popular after all. That charming gentleman act doesn't work on everyone. Those pricks. Not like you treat him any better. Of course I do. We're friends. Sure, I'm not judging, I'm just making an observation. Ivan held up like a swipe card to the door and instantly unlocked with a click. With a click. The desk sat empty inside the room. all but abandoned for the night by their unusual inhabitants. Noah quickly walked between the desks, looking for any sign that one of these laptops belonged to Kane. The large window sat quite slightly ajar, so for a gentle breeze to roll through the room. Cooling Noah's body, he again glanced towards Ivan, wondering if he didn't feel the cold. Noah paused. On a desk in the corner of the room, he noticed a cup. On it was written "World's OK Chef," which he recognized instantly. I bought this for him back in high school. I didn't think he'd still have it. Bingo! Let's take a look at that computer. Noah sat down at the desk, while Ivan stood behind him and leaning close to peer at the screen. The screen lit up with the logo before it faded away to a login screen. The username Kane782 was pre-filled while the cursor blinked in the password field, waiting for an entry. Shit. You're telling me you came here not knowing his password? How was I meant to know I would need it? Can't you do something about it? Hack it or something? I don't know how to use a computer. What? Which part of my sentence confused you? Do you need me to repeat it slowly? You have a phone. You have a radio jammer. You're drawing the line at a computer? I stole a phone. I was given the radio jammer. No one gave me a laptop. That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I can't tell if you're good with technology or not. Ivan just shrugged. He obviously wasn't going to explain anytime soon. Fine. Let me think. What would it be? Noah tapped his finger against the desk, absentmindedly thinking back to the days where he and Kane were almost glued together at the hip. Maybe his favorite movie or a song? Yet Noah's fingers didn't move across the keyboard. His mind was completely blank. You two are friends, right? I don't know. Fuck. I don't know. Stop thinking about it so hard. Just try whatever's in your head. Carefully, he made his first guess. Wrong. The second and third guesses came more quickly. All wrong. Pop-up came on the screen. After 3 more attempts, the computer would be locked down. His fourth and fifth guesses wasted. His heart beat loudly in his ears as he typed in his last guess. A last-ditch attempt at the friendship they once had. 130805. Lock screen faded away into the desktop. A notepad was open, with what seemed like a shopping list, and a few tabs were still open in his browser. What was it? None of your business. Noah's eyes traveled over the screen. Let's look at the shopping list. Noah's eyes owned in on the shopping list. It looked reasonably simple. In order, Noah read the list: mushrooms, fennel, feta, apples, sage, limes, radish. A strange combination of foods, but in a way it felt just like Kane. He could always make something delicious out of anything. He's got weird taste. Noah's eyes traveled over the screen. Kane had left open 3 tabs in his internet browser. At first, Noah didn't see anything of note. He considered closing out of them entirely before a sentence caught his eye. Plant Care 101 was open in one tab. Another, How to Care for Others. Noah's eyes fell away from the screen as an inkling of guilt crawled over his skin. Strange hobbies. Again, you're one to talk. Okay, forget the other things. Let's see. Noah quickly scrolled through Kane's bookmarks. Fortunately, they were all work-related, so the list wasn't too long. The National Register of Births and Deaths. Just so you know, you're about to move from a misdemeanor to a felony. I don't care what happens to me. No need to worry, I'll still extend you my offer to abandon reality. Noah clicked on the link, which automatically logged him into the system as Kane. A blank box waited for him to enter a name. Just in case. His words were quiet, whispered, whether they were for Ivan or himself. Even he didn't know. He quietly typed in the name Crow, of course, as both of them had known and expected no one popped up. However, now Noah was left with only one option. That option was already chewing away at his mind and heart. To search for this person was to accept what he found. August Rivers. A few hits popped up, but Noah could easily tell which one was his, August, the August he had known so well. His entry started with information he was already aware of. His name, birth date, and place, blood type. Noah scrolled down, further searching through the information. Cause of death, illness. Place of burial, NA. Cremation status, NA. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's more interesting still. He didn't die of. Seriously, couldn't it have waited until tomorrow? No, I need to forward that spreadsheet to the boss or he'll have my head on a plate tomorrow morning. Fuck. Ivan slammed down the lid of the laptop and pulled Noah to his feet before he even had the chance to think. Outside, the two voices became closer and closer. Jump. What? I said jump. What? Jump and don't scream. Ivan held on tight to Noah's collar and pushed the large window open further, creating enough space for the man to dangle his legs over the edge. When he saw that Noah wasn't joining in, Ivan clicked his tongue and slipped over the edge. The force propelled Noah from the spot safely on the ground. What the fuck are you doing? His words were lost in a loud rush of wind as he free fell from Kane's office. He felt like screaming, but his voice wouldn't leave his throat. The ground was becoming closer and closer, and for the first time in years, Noah thought a certain thing. I don't want to die. Not yet. He kept his eyes shut and covered his face with his arms. Crow. Suddenly the rushing feeling was replaced with another, the feeling being pulled through reality to a different place entirely. Not exactly a pleasant feeling, but after plummeting several stories towards the concrete ground, it felt slightly more like home. When he opened his eyes again, he felt the air leave his lungs in a way that falling from the 11th floor of a building could never feel. A place both dear and hated in his heart, a place he spent years of his life. The classroom was dark, and outside the night sky was full of stars he'd forgotten could exist. Took one careful step as if testing if the world would disintegrate with its movement before taking many more. He approached the window with speed and peered out. The same mountains and the same sky looked back at him. It was a strange feeling. It filled him with a gentle nostalgia, longing for a time that could never return. Behind him, suddenly the door began to rattle in a way it always had when someone was entering. He turned around slowly, his heart already in his throat. A boy with blonde hair and green eyes stood in the doorway, his hands still resting against the frame. He blinked, looking at Noah as if he wasn't quite sure who he was looking at. A realization came over his face. Noah? He knew it was a dream, but he knew this wasn't real, but what he knew, it didn't matter at that moment. It was someone he wanted, begged, pleaded to see for years and years and years, and there he was, as if he never went anywhere in the first place. It was in August, but right now it was. Tears started slowly, but quickly became a current. August, still looking like just as shocked as before, quickly stepped forward and wrapped his arms around Noah. You're Noah, right? His voice was exactly the same as it was back then. I missed you. I missed you so badly. There's no need to miss me, silly. I'm right here. I'm sorry, August. I should have. There must have been something. Shh. It's okay. I don't know what's going on, but everything will be right. Even if it's difficult, I believe in you. Have you gotten taller? You should have. You deserve to. Something's been eating you up, huh? That's one way to put it. Well, I'm always here if you want to talk about it. I'm not going anywhere. His words were like blades piercing into Noah's heart. You're not always going to be here. I wish so much that were true. But if you don't want to talk about it, that's okay too. All I want is for you to be happy, Noah. You deserve that more than anything. I'm so afraid of losing you. Of losing me? I just told you, I'm not going anywhere. He pouted, but gave up when a giggle came to the surface. Even if I was suddenly gone, that's okay. Everything ends, Noah. Some things sooner than others. Doesn't mean that experiencing them wasn't worth it. No matter whether I'm here or not, I hope you can look back at our time together with happiness. I'm not strong enough. You're plenty strong to me. Tell me you forgive me, please. It was a selfish request, but Noah didn't care. All he wanted was forgiveness. All he wanted was to lose the guilt that weighed so heavily on his heart. So heavy. Please, maybe I could. Noah, I'll always... August, come on, it's getting late. If we stay any longer, the janitor's gonna chase us out with a broom. Kane, give him a minute, God. The door, which was still left open by August, suddenly housed two other figures. They came to a stop, frozen at seeing the scene inside the room. Oh. Oh, Kane, Noah. This is an interesting situation we've all found ourselves in, huh? Noah stared back into his own younger face. I wonder what I looked like to him. Sorry, loser, a washed artist, a complete good for nothing. Noah took a step away from August and wiped his nose with his sleeve. Wanted nothing more than to be at August's side, talk to him, whether he was real or not. When he saw his younger self, when he saw Kane, he realized that he didn't belong. The world around Kane began to crack, with him at the center. He's Noah, but you're also... Deep rumbling came from the very earth as reality began to fracture. Noah reached out towards August, who suddenly seemed like he was getting further and further away by the second. August. Wait. August. I don't want to lose you again. Please. Come with me. Quicker and quicker, the world disappeared into nothing. I didn't care. Not now. The classroom truly became lost to the void. Noah could have swore that August was reaching out back towards him too. He felt himself falling. The ground that felt so sturdy a moment ago was now non-existent. Noah resigned himself to his fate. If I have to die, at least I got to see his face one more time. Noah! What's happening? Oh dear, this looks dreary and bleak. The world around Noah began to shift from black to a bleak, desolate white. His fall was stopped by two arms who wrapped around him and held him to their chest. Noah, are you okay? Crow collapsed to the ground, still holding onto Noah, as if for dear life, which wasn't completely false. Although he could tell he wasn't in the classroom anymore. He wasn't exactly sure where he was. Vision was still blurred from the tears that hadn't stopped yet. Everything looked so bright, so endless, so empty. What were you thinking? Don't get yourself killed if you pull something like that. If I wasn't there, you... I know I told you to take it easy and enjoy yourself, but you need to be more careful than that. Crow's face filled with panic, softened upon seeing the not at all silent tears that came from Noah. His arms, which held Noah in a vice-like grip, also relaxed, untensed. He pulled back gently. Tenderly, Crow stroked the hair out of Noah's face. August. It's okay. I'm here. Really? Are you really him? If that's what you want. That's what I want, if it's true. Even truth can be subjective here, Noah. I'm whoever you need me to be. Crow sighed ever so quietly. What are you doing here? Noah wiped his eyes and took a deep breath. It's a long story. I have nothing but time. I'll keep it short. I broke into a government building, then jumped out the window from the 11th floor, then ended up in that dream. Crumbling to rise. What? I know it's insane. I just wanted to find out if you're really August, even if it's even possible. I just wanted to find out more about the deaths. So that's why. It's really dangerous, Noah. I didn't know you were capable of such a thing. I was impressed. Are we anyway? This is, I suppose you can think of it as the abyss between dreams. It's nowhere in particular. A place like this exists? Yes, but you shouldn't try to come here. It can be dangerous. And what are you doing here? Waiting, I suppose. Or? Still working that part out. But if this is in between dreams, then that means real. Crow's smile faltered for only a moment before he let out a small, quiet laugh. I'm whatever you want me to be. Crow lifted his hand and motioned for Noah to do the same. Their palms touched together softly. Does it feel warm? I guess so. Good. Then that's enough, isn't it? What a peculiar feeling from within my chest. Crow pulled his hand back somewhat timidly. You really should be going. Like I said, don't try to come back here on your own. Why won't you be lost with the rest of the souls? What's that supposed to mean? Well, didn't look like he wanted to know about it, but he still continued. Those that die in their dreams become stuck here for what could be forever. They don't get the privilege of moving on. It sounds awful. It is. That's why you shouldn't be here. What about you? Isn't it dangerous for you too? Perhaps I'm already a lost soul. A soul lost in the sea. Not quite sure. But you needn't worry about me. I will always be fine as long as you are. For some reason, Noah had the image of Crow sitting in this empty nothingness alone, forever waiting, with a tug on his heartstrings. I want you to help me. Pardon? I want to stop the murders. You want to stop them? Why? Maybe we're similar in that aspect. I'm not quite sure either. All I know is that people from my past are winding up dead. People keep asking me, why do you care? Why do you want to help? How many times do I have to say, I don't know, but I want to do it anyway? Do their deaths make you feel sad? Or perhaps the answer to that is also, I don't know. Noah nodded in agreement, and for some reason, a smile like sunshine spread over Crow's face. You've grown up a lot, Noah. May I ask you a question, Noah? Of course. Anything. Being here again is helping you to paint again, isn't it? How do you? Just an inkling. Compared to our first meeting, you seem alive now. That's right. Since I couldn't paint properly for years, now every time I come back here, I can. Crow nodded sagely. There's nothing wrong with having a selfish reason to do good, and I will help you however I can. Really? Of course. If I can be of use to you, then I'm happy. Then, if we use your protective charms, you can protect people ahead of time, right? That's correct. Alright, I need some time to think of people who might be targeted. Is there a way I could contact you to let you know? Phone number? An email? A place? Anything? I want to see you in the real world. There's no need to worry. When you enter their dream, I will be there. Suddenly, Crow looked back over his shoulder, as if he could see something that Noah couldn't. It's past time for you to leave, Noah. Believe me. I will be there when you need me. Wait a second. Noah grabbed his satchel. Inside rested his old sketchbook and a pencil, waiting for him to retrieve them. I wanted to. Goodbye, Noah. Call for me and I will be by your side. Until next time. World around Noah faded from view in an instant as he fell backwards into oblivion, but as if his insides were shifting with the fall a feeling he was, somehow, becoming very comfortable that day. He fell and fell until he didn't fall any longer. He hit the cement ground with a thud, paint and canvases going flying in every direction. Let out a loud groan as his back creaked with pain. Fuck. But his temper didn't last. His eyes fell back to his canvas, and his hand dug into his shaft tool, and produced his worn sketchbook with ease. I can do it. This time, I'm sure I can. His pencil moved blindingly fast, and his mind raced as he sketched out the face that was burnt into his mind. Every stroke came with ease, and before long, he was looking at his masterpiece. August. August, no. This is Crow. Drawing made his heart leap, and yet, when he looked at it, he didn't see August. He saw someone very different, yet somehow the same. Carefully, he placed the book down and stood wobbling over towards his couch. All of a sudden, the weight of all that had happened so far hit him, and then he collapsed on the couch. The TV was still on, just as Ivan had left it. Where did he end up this time? He's seriously insane. He jumped out of that window like it was nothing. On the TV, the morning news was already playing. Noah put his hand to his head, feeling the already throbbing headache becoming worse. I wonder why I'm so tired. When was the last time I slept properly? When was the last time I could? There's no time. I need to work out a plan so I can see Crow again. It's been targeted. My mother, my father, Mr. Floyd, and Sebastian, Asher too. God, I'm too tired. Moving on to the news. Officials are baffled by this video that has gone viral on the internet overnight. Let's take a look. Will you just shut up? I'm trying to think. On the screen, a shaky phone camera recorded a tall building from afar. In it, two people could be seen falling from a window before disappearing. Police have cordoned off the area and are currently interviewing those that work in the building. No bodies have been found as of yet. If you have any information, you can call anonymously on. Noah quickly hit the power button on the remote and the screen faded to black. If shit couldn't get worse. Kane's gonna kill me. He's actually gonna kill me. I should call him first. When we had the chance to finish that thought, a loud knocking came from Noah's front door. Or not. Noah, past exhausted, quickly opened the front door, but standing in his doorway was someone he hadn't expected to see. Not Kane or Ivan, not even Crow. As surprising as that would have been. Mr. Floyd? Ah! Noah! Instantly tried to slam the door shut, but before the man could put his foot in the way. But not before the man could put his foot in the way. I'm going to say to you, please leave. Wait, please, just a second. Can we talk for a minute? Noah, unsure, stared at him, through the darkness. Something about the expression on his face gave Noah pause. Unsure, he opened the door and let the man in. About to see the mess before simply shaking his head as though it really didn't matter. You've really grown up, haven't you? I mean, that's to be expected, I suppose, but sorry, I'm not very good at this. What are you doing here? What do you want? You weren't going to reply to my text. Nope. I didn't even use my phone to message you in the first place. So that's how it is. Noah's old teacher looked over his shoulder at the half-finished canvases strewn around the room. You get the painting. Occasionally. I heard about August back then. Can you just tell me why you're here? How did you find me? I tried to call the number you texted from, but got no response. Then I tried to look you up. There's no mention of you anywhere. So? I managed to find your brother, who's still back living in your old place. He told me where you've gone generally, and I've just been asking around for you. Right. Still need to reply to that text too. His text too. Fine. That answers how you found me. But if you're here to apologize, don't waste your breath. I don't want your empty words. I dreamt about you the other night, weirdly enough, I swear. It looked like you do now, instead of how I last saw you. Noah crossed his arms. His mouth closed in a line. I'm not here to apologize per se, I'm here to explain. Noah stayed quiet for some reason. Those words meant more to him than an apology ever could. An explanation, that's all he wanted. Why? Why did he do what he did? Are you still in contact with your parents? They're both dead. What? I'm sorry, what happened? Noah shrugged. Have you been watching the news? They got caught up in that. Oh god, Noah, I didn't realize. I'm not talking about it. There's no need for the show. Right, of course not. The old teacher took a deep breath. He mostly looked the same as he did last time Noah saw him. He had kind eyes and wide shoulders. He had the look of someone you could trust. That was a problem, really. Everything that happened back then, between you and me, it was a big misunderstanding. Both of us were used and turned against each other. You were paid by my mother to pretend to be close to me just so you could pass on everything I said to her. What part am I misunderstanding? That's not what happened at all. When you told me about how you felt about August, I never intended to tell anyone. How could I? You trusted me enough to tell me, and I wasn't about to make your life difficult by telling anyone before you were ready. With parents like yours, I thought it unsafe for them to find out too. Why should you be in trouble for something as simple as a crush? What then? What? Then how did they find out? Telepathically? I don't know. When I left you that night, after our last tutoring session, your mother pulled me aside and slapped me across the face harder than I ever been hit before, then fired me. What? Even now, I don't know what happened, but somehow she heard everything we said, whether your room was bugged, or she sat with a cup up to the door every time we were together. I don't know. Fuck. That sounds just like her. She threatened to report me to school, but worried if I spoke to you again, that's why I had to act like that. But that's where the explanation ends. Now I have to apologize, whether it means anything to you or not. You cared more about my career than about the safety of my student. You needed my support, and I was a coward. I'm sorry. Noah, I can't ever be sorry enough. He wasn't so exhausted. Perhaps he would have cried again. Instead, all that he could manage was a croak. Why didn't you just tell me back then? I'm sorry. There's an explanation for that. I was afraid and I failed you. I'm sorry. It's your fault, I guess. What am I meant to blame now? The question was for no one in particular. In fact, it was only a few moments later he realized that he'd spoken it aloud. I left you alone with no one to support you. That wasn't strong enough. You can blame me all you want. Thanks, Mr. Floyd. I appreciate you telling me the truth. I'm sorry about August. I know he meant a lot to you. Absentmindedly, Noah glanced towards the sketch he'd done of Crow. He was a wonderful kid who seemed to like you very much. Noah's silent response to answer was to accept that he was gone forever. Are you happy, Noah? Are you happy, Noah? Yes? No? I have nothing. I spent years in this stupid house given to me by a friend I hardly deserve, wasting away my life. I couldn't paint. I cut myself off from the world. I lost what felt like everything. How could I be happy now? The first step to getting better is recognizing you need change. You sound like you've recovered that. Recognize that to me. I'm trying. Selfishly. Sometimes it's okay to be selfish. Thanks, Mr. Floyd. I don't want to take up any more of your time, but please, Noah, message me anytime if you need any help. I promise I'll be there. Let me make up for my mistakes. We're around if you need me. Then rested on the doorknob. Mr. Floyd? It was good to see you. He smiled, nodded, then returned. The door shut softly behind the man with a click. Who am I meant to blame now? What am I meant to do with all of this hate? What'd you do, August? Noah laughed at himself almost mockingly. He'd take it all in stride, wouldn't he? At a time like this, he'd tell me to keep my chin up, right? Noah's eyelids began to dip. Everything that had happened that day was finally catching up with him. He couldn't even muster the energy to move from his couch to his bedroom. His eyelids finally closed as his back sunk into his worn couch. The springs dug into him, but he didn't seem to mind. Noah, are you awake? Mm-hmm. Come on, it's time to go now. Look how dark it's gotten outside already. Did I fall asleep? You're all cold. Noah looked around the room. Right, the classroom. Everything was as it should be. Where's Kane? He's waiting outside. Noah's eyes trailed over the scene. Right, everything is as it should be. I feel like I just had a really bad dream. You too? There was this other person here, then he disappeared. Kane told me. I must have been imagining it though. Oh, right. Noah's eyes went back to the stars outside the window, and he remembered. Something wrong? No. Happy to see you again, August. This reminds me of the first time when I saw your dream. Happy to see you too, but you can see me whenever you want, silly. I wish I could. August made a face to say he really didn't understand, but he was happy anyway. I went through Noah's chest, but this time he didn't feel so lost. A lot has happened happened recently. Oh? August pulled a chair up to Noah's desk with an interested look on his face. I've been seeing Kane more. It's great. He's such a good friend to you. Makes you happy. And even Mr. Floyd came over to my house. Mr. Floyd? Really? Yeah, we worked things out. It was all a big misunderstanding. I didn't realize it at the time, but I do now. I'm so glad. You're working hard, Noah. I've met some new people too. Will you tell me about them? It'd be boring. I like listening to your voice. How long has it been since I last dreamt? The last dreamt of you? Am I selfish for leading you on to believe this is real? And am I delusional for enjoying it? It's nothing more than my dream. Nothing more than my dream. Certain someone's words drifted into Noah's mind. What makes a real person? I don't know. I exist right now, in this very second. That's enough. That's enough. This moment is enough. Someone moved in with me, I guess. Moved in with you since when? Just kind of happened, against my will. His name's Ivan. She's a little weird, has a habit of breaking and entering, and is also kind of a thief, but it's nice to have someone around again. Should we be calling the police? Noah just shook his head. It's okay. He's not so bad, actually. Might be murderer, though. I don't know. Just made me worried now. I'm sorry. But one other person, too. Hopefully they're a little more agreeable. Reminds me a lot of you. Of me? You must be wonderful then. Lucas laughed, obviously joking. He is. You are. You seem happy. Oh, I'm glad. How could I not be one? Noah's eyes went to August. Or when he thought August should have been... He blinked. But his place was another figure. Something wrong. No, Noah shook his head and looked back. August still sat there with a worried look on his face. I thought I saw... It's just me. Right, it's you. Anyway, you know what? I love talking to you, Noah, but maybe we should walk and talk? Kane's still waiting for us. Noah looked at August. He studied his face, memorizing every detail. It was the August he knew, but it wasn't his August. There was nothing more than a dream after all. You go on ahead, okay? Why? I can't follow where you're going, even if I want to. Okay, but remember, you have my number, okay? All you have to do is call for me, and I'll be here. You know that, right? His familiar words echoed through the room, which seemed to expand and contract at a moment's notice. Everything around began fading into black, as Noah's consciousness stirred. Calling out and you'll be there. What about after I wake up? Will my words really bring you back to me? Is it that simple? I'll call you by your name. Crow. In the center of that bleakness, a single figure stood. I'm here. Everything will be okay. It really came. I said I would, wouldn't I? Didn't I? Well, that was a little sooner than I expected, I have to admit. Crow giggled slightly, his face bright. Wordlessly, Noah reached forward and wrapped his arms around the blond man. You feel the heat of a real person. Are you okay? Noah nodded as Crow wrapped his arms around Noah in return. I think it's time for you to wake up, Noah. I've been dreaming a lot lately. I must admit, I'm selfishly happy to see you so much, but I hope you're also taking time to rest. It's too hard. Waking up and struggling every single day. It's way too hard. It'd be better to stay here. Drift away in the clouds like you told me. I want to be better, but I also just want to just stop. You are stronger than that, though, aren't you? Noah found himself nodding without even realizing it. Of course, I would be happy if... Never mind. Leave it, question him. The what? It was a selfish request that I wouldn't impose upon you with. What's wrong with being selfish? I would be happy if you were to spend more time in dreams, that's all. But I would be happier still for you to go on living. You've still yet to paint your masterpiece, right? Right. Then for now, struggle. Struggle until you're free. Go on. It's time to wake up now. Everything will be okay. Okay. I'll see you soon, alright? Always and anytime. Alright. I think this is a good stopping point for... Not quick save. I need to... No. How do I go this? Ah, there it is. Save it right here. I think this is a good point to stopping for the story of Dreambound. And switch it up. I'm gonna actually do some tasks and work for a bit. So, thank you to everybody who came by for this little section. And if you see this on YouTube, thanks for watching. And if you want to see this live, feel free to come to Twitch. But for now, DjDoubleT out and about, and